We'll get into that coming up next.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Before you spend your time and money going after an MBA, ask yourself why. Is it so you can tell people you got your MBA? So you can add a line to your CV? So you can call it a CV instead of a resume? Truth is, any MBA will do that. On the other hand, if your goal is to learn how to successfully manage and grow a business with real-world insights from experienced professionals, well, consider getting your MBA from Park University. Our low student-to-teacher ratio gives you personalized attention, and our face-to-face and online classes offered in 8-week terms are designed with working professionals like you in mind. No wonder the Kansas City Business Journal ranks Park University as the top MBA program in the area. Classes begin June 10th at all 4 KC area locations: Parkville, Downtown, Independence, and Lenexa. Visit park.edu to get started.
I was duped, and I recommend you be next. For better or worse, the ultra-realistic impression of me sits now in my wife's office to spook her on a daily basis. So what is Doob? D-O-O-B. It's the keepsake of a lifetime, a 3D-generated, incredibly lifelike figurine. 66 cameras take an image at exactly the same moment in any pose, and state-of-the-art 3D technology transforms that into exact replicas of you, anyone you know or love, a pet, whomever is close to your heart. Create lifetime memories with a Doob. Visit their Facebook page at Doob 3D Kansas City, or better yet, see their incredible creations. Visit their location down on the plaza in the heart of it at 231 West 47th Street in KC Mo. Doob, be next. Get a refreshing change of your expectations of a sports bar and restaurant at the 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence. Matt Llewellyn's welcoming spot at Clinton Parkway and Cassold covers all the bases, like their own handcrafted beers and all the televisions you need for great sports viewing, but it's the large, varied, and delicious menu that stands apart. From a favorite of mine like the awesome ahi tuna appetizer to great sandwiches, outstanding pizza, and truly fantastic entrees, the 23rd Street Brewery has it all. Matt and his friendly staff make it that much more enjoyable. Food until 10, fun until late. The 23rd Street Brewery is a can't-miss stop when you are in Lawrence. Looking for a truly unique escape from your normal entertainment or corporate team-building regimen? Stay tuned for an exclusive offer only for Reasonably Irreverent listeners. I'm excited to tell you about an extraordinary destination, the Exit Room, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Lee Summit. The Exit Room is a distinctive entertainment option that offers a cool alternative to the normal couples night out, family get-togethers, and corporate team-building events. The Exit Room is a one-of-a-kind boutique escape room catering to special occasions and corporate team-building events and is unmatched in the Kansas City metro. With 5 individually designed and varied escape room adventures, your party or employees can unplug from their electronic world, interact with one another, match wits, and ultimately escape the humdrum of the ordinary. The Exit Room adventures cross decades and centuries and create fascinating fun. I know the owners well. They are local folks, their staff is warm and friendly, their lobby is inviting and beautiful, and their adventures are award-winning. Check online. There are over 1,000 reviews, and note that they are a rare 5-star ranked business. Visit their website and Facebook page, and any of my listeners who books online at theexitroomkc.com using the promo code ClinkScale19 gets 10% off any ticket purchase. The Exit Room in Lee Summit. Unplug, interact, and escape. Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Wrap, and sometimes in the game of baseball, because even the worst teams win 50 or 55 games, and that's the very worst teams, most times the worst teams win 70 games in a particular season, you just kind of fall into one, and that happened for the Kansas City Royals yesterday, and it was a nice thing for them. I was at the ball game covering the game yesterday, and 14,000 diehard fans came out on a Sunday. Those are the toughest days these days for the fans because even though it wasn't insufferably hot by July standards, it's still you got to sit out in the sunshine for hours and hours unless you're underneath the overhang, and that's where most people sit on these hot days. But they came out hoping that the Royals wouldn't get swept in a 4-game series. They lost a tough one in the first game, then they got beat around rather badly in the next 2, and then after a Saturday where 4 batters in, a grand slam was in the seats, and the Royals were down 4-0 to the Indians. Yesterday, 3 batters in, a 3-run homer went out of the ballpark, and they were down 3-0, and it looked like they were on their way to a 4-game sweep, and maybe the blunting of some of the good feelings that had come for them since the All-Star break. But some days, good things just happen in a baseball game, and from the Indian standpoint, sometimes you just lose one. And they've been playing great baseball. They've won 12 of their last 16. They've been the hottest team in baseball in July. They've played great ball for 2 months now, and they were really rolling. And Ned Yost, who we'll hear from in a minute, pointed that out. But the Royals had one of those innings that were such a hallmark of what they did back in 2014 and 2015. They earned so many things, but the Royals were a high-contact team, which they aren't anymore. And so they'd put the ball in play in funny ways sometimes. The Lorenzo Cain triangle was a famous aspect of what the Royals did, a joke among his teammates, or for the little dunkers that he occasionally would put into the outfield. There were keys to what I would call greasy rallies, somewhat known for coming up with that particular phrase. Well, in the fifth inning yesterday, the Royals had one of the greasiest 5-run rallies you're ever going to see against Trevor Bauer, and Bauer would end up making the day a comical one because of it. The Royals had 4 of their 7 hits in the inning had exit velocities at 70 or under. There was one that was a tiny little dribbler by Ryan O'Hearn, which is a key. There was a ball lost in the sun. There was another blooper for a base hit, and it all added up to 5 runs. And when Nicky Lopez knocked one up the middle, and he had just recently stopped an 0-for-22 string, which was a legitimate base hit, Bauer had had enough, and he was going to be taken out of the game. So before he was even taken out of the game, he took one baseball and heaved it into the net behind home plate. And then when he saw Terry Francona coming out to take him out of the game, he turned and fired one over the batter's eye, almost to the fountains in center field. Bauer is long known for his long toss regimen, and he certainly took that to an extreme in this particular situation. And he got a big-time dressing down from his manager on the mound, and then Francona basically chased him into the dugout after he tried to apologize a bit. He said all the right things after the game, but Bauer, who's a very temperamental pitcher on the mound, certainly showed it in a huge way, and no doubt will be paying up a dandy fine for his antics on the mound. But the Royals would get 5 runs in the inning. They would tack on a couple more as the day went on, and they would actually get the win by a count of 9-6 and avoid a dreadful 4-game sweep. And that made for a much more happy Ned Yost. And towards the end of this, I would ask Ned how important it was. And Ned knew that it was an important and big day for his team in order to keep a little bit of the momentum, the good feelings and the dog days of summer up as they steal the last one against the Indians.
I was really pleased, that the guys could, put together good at-bats and just keep the line moving. That was what was important, especially against Bauer. These guys they're really hot right now, and they're not missing pitches. So if you miss your location a little bit, they're going to make you pay. And Duff starts up the game, base hit, and then boom, home run. We're down 3-0 before we even get an out. But he held the fort. He did a good job. Gave up another home run on a fastball, but really kind of negotiated through those innings, and did a great job of getting us through 6 innings right there.
You mentioned Bauer. Is that what happened there in the 5th? Is that something you've seen before?
No, you don't see that very often off of him. He's always been tough on us. And, I think our guys, it started last night. And anytime you think you're in a fastball count, forget about it. Start sitting breaking ball. And, if you guys, you notice how many breaking balls Bauer was throwing. And, one inning he threw 2 fastballs, and it was the 4th, I think it was. We got a guy on him, boom, everything was slider. So guys started to change their approach a little bit and worked out pretty good for us.
Specifically on the ball going over the center field fence.
I didn't do that.
Just any thoughts on it at all?
I got none.
How about Danny overall today? Just coming back from that.
I thought it was a really grinding performance. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't exceptionally sharp, but he wasn't going to give in either. He just kept battling, kept competing. Was real upset with himself after the first inning. I'm like, you just stay cool. We're gonna get you some. Just hold them right there. And sure enough, we started. Pretty big whip with the double and. Score a run, had an opportunity to really tie the game in the first inning. We just couldn't do it. And then to tie the game, I think in the 3rd on a hustle play, great read by Dozier. Didn't even slow down coming around 3rd on the overthrow from first to tie the ball game, and then here we go.
You guys have been playing such good ball that, and then you ran into a little bit of buzzsaw. Like you said, the Indians are so hot. important was it to get back on the horse?
Well, I tell you what, it really feels good to me. I mean, I'm going to really enjoy this one because we have been playing good baseball, and we did run into a team that is really, really hot. They're clicking on all cylinders. I mean, you give them credit. They're clicking on all cylinders. You make a mistake, kaboom. And, going into the day, Bauer's one of their big guys. I mean, you look at their pitching. Their pitching's been really, really good. And we didn't even see Bieber, who just, one hit Toronto. So they've been pitching good. They've been really swinging the bats good. So to fall behind 3-0 like we did today, especially after what we did yesterday, and to continue to battle and fight on a hot day and end up victorious at the end, I'm going to go home, lay on the couch, and feel real good about that.
Danny Duffy was the pitcher who maneuvered through what Ned called a grinding performance there, and certainly afterwards, Duffy, who has had his ups and downs in his career, and he has had his ups and downs this year. That's just the kind of pitcher he is. I mentioned with Seren Petro on Friday in my appearance on Danny Unleashed on the program with Seren that going forward, I expect Danny Duffy to be what he is. He can show brilliance at times. He can show toughness like he did yesterday. He's usually going to get hurt for some portion of a season, and other times he's just not going to be so good. So he's a good pitcher who at times can be excellent and show us flashes that make us think that, or thought at one point that he could be an ace. I think that ship has sailed, but there's still moments where you still think it. Danny Duffy is always a thoughtful person after a game and had some really telling comments about how important the game was from a team morale standpoint.
It's great, man. It was great to get a team win, and I'm just happy that I was able to grind out 18 outs. We handed the ball over to 2 guys that got the job done, or 3 guys that got the job done, and it was awesome, man. It was good.
Davey, that 5th inning for your guys, did that kind of remind you a little bit of 14 and 15, just kind of keeping the line moving, whatever it takes to get on? Hits, whatever.
Yeah, even, in the 14th inning the other day, we were doing the same thing. And it's just one of those things where you got to try to stay in it and, have confidence in yourself and your guys. And we were able to put some runs on the board, and there's no quit, man. So games like this are huge for growth, and it was good to be able to get the W as a team out of today. It was a tough game, but we were able to scratch one out, and that was great.
But the fun part came when he got to talk about Trevor Bauer and his long toss escapades out on the mound, and Duffy was really fun and having a lot of fun in talking about Bauer and his meltdown out on the mound.
It was a sign of frustration. It went a long way. I get it. I've been there, but it's really not for me to say.
You think you could hit the batter's eye from the mound?
I could throw it over the batter's eye from the home plate, no doubt, no doubt. Nah. But all these guys over here always talk about how I can't do it. I promise you I can. That was proof right there, man. He's got a little bit stronger of an arm than I do, but I feel like I could do it.
So the Royals continue the homestand with a little bit of good feeling as they will continue against the Blue Jays, who made some trades yesterday, maybe another team that's sort of in the same category as the Royals, and we'll see if they can use the little bit of momentum they stole back with the game on Sunday going forward in the homestand. A couple of golf notes over the weekend. The most important to the Kansas City area was the fact that Tom Watson announced after his round on Saturday at the Senior British Open that he would no longer compete in that particular tournament and no longer compete in the Senior U.S. Open, and basically step away from most important major championships in senior golf. He would still play selected events and probably some exhibitions and things like that, but as far as serious senior and Champions Tour golf, Tom Watson says he doesn't have enough tools in the toolbox anymore. And he made every single cut at the Senior British Open 18 times he played in it, and made the cut every time, including this week. And maybe he felt like after making that cut this time, this was a good way to go out, and he could have that perfect record of Senior Opens without ever missing the cut. But Watson, who has won 8 Opens in total, 5 of the regular variety and 3 Senior Opens, an absolute legend in the UK, and certainly a big part, once considered one of the franchises of Kansas City sports, but kind of a melancholy feeling as he announces that he's walking away from serious Champions Tour competition and senior major golf after the Senior Open